What is the most effective way to get to a 315 bench without getting fat? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And a lot of people say, well, Jason, you've never been a great bench presser. You've been a decent bencher, but never truly elite. What makes you think you can give advice on it? Well, very straightforward. Number one, I don't have good genetics for the bench. I don't have good leverages for the bench. I have long arms. And yet you guys have watched me rep out 315 for 8 reps. You've seen me do 365 for a 2-second pause in my late 40s. And even then right there, at the start of the video, an easy 325, not even a max, completely flat back, lean enough to have abs, doing it at the age of 47, no wrist straps, any of that. I've had clients who bench well over 400 pounds. I've coached plenty of raw benchers, and I've made a lot of observations of people over the years who don't have amazing bench genetics, who still built a big bench. It's stuff I've learned over the decades. And there's some tricks that I'm going to discuss there. Now up front, here's the thing I have right at the beginning, right? You see the tricep work, you see all the lat work, right? Pull-ups, triceps. That has usually historically been the advice given, okay? Historically, due to a quit benching, guys with great genetics, all that stuff, we saw for decades the general advice has always been, if you do lots of lat work, lots of tricep work, you'll have an amazing bench. Now, am I going to say those things don't carry over to the bench? No, they absolutely carry over. And I definitely think if you're a slightly closer grip bencher, oh man, big lats will really help you pop it off the bottom for closed grip bencher, right? But when you're gripping it wide, not so much. Same thing, you know, if you can get it off your chest and you have the triceps to lock it, absolutely. But keep in mind, historically, what did we see? Bench press shirts. Okay, so that's where a lot of that advice comes from. And again, I want to be clear. Building lats and triceps will never hurt your bench press. And if anything, big lats will help you stabilize it better. They can help you with a better touch point, better bar path. But they won't necessarily help you lift more other than maybe on a closed grip out of the bottom, in which case you can use them to slingshot it because you can pop them out and hit the triceps with them. Okay, but what about for everybody else? Hey, what about people who want to grip it somewhat wider, which is, again, a lot of big benchers? What about guys with longer arms? We've got to move it a longer distance. We got to do all this stuff. Okay, what about 100% raw benchers in those cases? I'm going to say build your pecs and build your incline. All right. The other thing to think about, high specificity benching. If you don't have great leverages for the bench, standing around just benching heavy all the time may not be all it's cracked up to be. Okay, it may be hard on your shoulders, may beat them up. So just coming in and benching may not be the best solution. May not be the best solution. Guys with good bench genetics, so you can do that. Just come in and just bench press, build your triceps and your lats. Everybody else, again, I'm going to kind of go a different direction and say work on your chest and work on your incline. Have you ever seen anyone who is strong at an incline bench who doesn't have a good raw bench press? Okay. I mean, even take my client Doug, who people are like, oh man, he's benching like double body weight, right? I had him benching double body weight. He was hitting 365 for a nice pause while weighing 180. Showing up to meets, not water cutting, doing that, but what could he incline? We had him where he inclined 325. Hey, he inclined 325. Yeah, and it carried over. All right. Same thing with, one of my other clients I put up benching, showed him benching 425 before at 220. We did a ton of incline. Okay, for the raw bencher, the incline will build your bench press. Anything that builds your pecs will build your bench press, but again, particular to the incline. If you get strong at the incline, your bench will go up. Now, people say, what about overhead press? I haven't always found the carryover directly, but I've got some overhead pressing in this video clip because here's what I'm going to say. Does the overhead press build the incline? Absolutely. So we start asking that question of if your incline goes up, your bench press will absolutely go up. Your raw bench will go up. especially if you think about where most guys stick, particularly guys who don't have amazing leverages. Where do you stick on the bench press usually? When you miss it. If you're not doing close grip, right? Usually you're going to miss it about 4 to 6 inches off the chest. Maybe 8 inches. Look at that transition point. The incline bench strengthens you through that position. And once you get through that, you can usually lock it if you got the triceps for it. Okay, so then we start asking, how do we build the incline? Well, this is where you see the other things I'm doing. Incline dumbbells, sort of incline flies, right? Overhead pressing, even the seated press. I feel like the seated press carries over a lot to the incline. Okay, this is the stuff that you need to do. You know, and again, as I've seen other coaches point out, the solution is not triceps, because everyone trains triceps. Everybody trains triceps. All these powerlifters train triceps. All the bodybuilders train triceps. If you're doing this other stuff, you're probably training triceps. We all train our arms, right? Most men train their arms religiously. Most men are living on arm work. Most men still don't have a big bench. So if just training your triceps was the solution, all these guys would all have big benches. Okay? Since everyone's already training triceps, and I pointed out, yeah, if you've got the triceps to lock at the incline, will build it. But we're all training triceps already. We're all training our triceps. But here's the thing. Get in, hammer the incline. And incline, I mean, you can go heavy. I mean, you saw me doing sets of 6s there, right, with that 225, trying to build that up. I want to get my incline to 315, right? I feel like if I get my incline to 315, my bench will be just along for the ride at that point. So even for me these days, all I've been doing as of just recently, I just come in and hit a heavy singles, you know, some training maxes on the flat bench, and I go straight into incline work. Most of my work is then incline. Incline barbell, incline dumbbell, shoulder day, come in and we do some overhead pressing. But yes, we should still train lats. You should still train triceps, because at the end of the day, the other thing I will point out, gaining muscle anywhere in your upper body will carry over to the bench. Just get jacked. Just get jacked in general. But if your pecs are big, you're going to have a big bench, particularly when we start taking those wide grips. You're not using a massive arch. It's going to be chest. And if you have the chest to get that weight moving, and you have the chest to get it moving through that sticking point, that transition point, then all that tricep work pays off. But just get big. Obviously, you want big triceps. You want big delts. You want big lats. Even big biceps can help you. But the pecs are what's going to move it. And particularly, I feel like for most raw benchers, not for your rep work, but on the maxes, you really do need that upper chest to help you get through that transition point. That's how you get to a 315 bench, guys.